Attention, everybody! It is Tuesday, August 14th, and this is episode 34 of the Daily Comic. I'm Jimmy Bird. This is a show where I read one comic book a day and then come here and tell you what I thought about that comic. Today's comic is Long Live Pro Wrestling. That's right, Long Live Pro Wrestling. Issue number 0 from Scout Comics. James Hawk III and Branko Jovanovic. I think I'm pronouncing those right. Behind this one, Hawk III writing it, Branko Jovanovic doing the art. This is a passion piece for me. To let you all know, I am a big fan of pro wrestling. Ever since I was a wee little Jimmy, I had the Hulk Hogan poster on my wall with the weight set, the prayers, the training, the vitamins, doing all that stuff. All the way up till now to the new guys like Ricochet or even Roman Reigns or some of the new guys, the High Flyers, Japan, Cody, and the Rainmaker and all those guys, as their names escape me on the moment. Kenny Omega is another big one. The Young Bucks, love the Young Bucks. So big fan of pro wrestling in general. So I say all that just to say I have very high hopes. But I also know it's a very hard sell. It's a very hard sell to sell any kind of pro wrestling comic that doesn't have John Cena's face on it or the WWE brand logo on it or any kind of known wrestling faction on it. This is an isolated story completely separate from any known affiliates with wrestling. Mainly because I think the artist and author himself are just fans of pro wrestling. So I have high hopes, but I also have low expectations, much as most wrestling fans are used to. Am I right, guys? Let's hear it out there. So, Long Live Pro Wrestling. If those are the things, high hopes, low expectations, it was right on the money. It's what I expected it to be. But unfortunately, I was unimpressed. It just was hard. So basically, the storyline is there's this pro wrestler he's a very famous pro wrestler, think The Rock or John Cena, and has been out there doing this thing, and now he's getting his own primetime talk show. On apparently the biggest network in the world, and it's about wrestling. So he has this whole goal to make wrestling great again through talk show, and for everybody to love the art. So this thing here is him being interviewed about that show, and then notice again up there, it's issue 0. 0 is kind of like, again, a primer, a precursor to issue 1, going into the full story. This is kind of like the prologue, if you will, of a big story. So I did not like this, mainly because it read as if someone took a couple Reddit wrestling fans' argument, or if somebody was going into troll and say wrestling's not real and the fans are defending it. It felt like somebody just transposed that argument and then illustrated it here. Because that's all we get. We just get an argument about the pros and cons of is pro wrestling real or is it fake or this is going on, that's going on. And it all takes place on the set of this. Now again, in true to form fashion, there's a heel turn, there's a false finish. I'm using wrestling terms there. There's no actually wrestling in this, surprisingly. But there's a false finish to the television show, and there's a heel turn. Lots of stuff that you didn't see coming going on there. So again, full disclosure, this is issue 0. This is part of Scout Comics Binge imprint. They're going to print issue 0, and then they're going to print issue 1. And then the rest of the comics in this series will come out in trade paperback form or graphic novel form. This is the way they're going to do it. And depending on how well it's received and how much the writers and artists have story for, it'll come out like as a season. So, you know, when you go to the store and you buy a season box of a television show or something like that, this would be the same way. They present it all in one season so you can binge read it. Get it? Clever name, binge. Binge read Long Live Pro Wrestling. So be it. So I got to be honest, I probably won't read issue 1 just because of what I saw here. The art wasn't bad. The writing was very elementary and just basic and just not what I want as a pro wrestling fan or a comic fan or someone who's meshing the two things together. But I will flip through the trade paperback. When that is all said and done, that's out on the shelves and you can pick that up in your local comic book store, I will probably flip through that and see what's going on there. But I can honestly not recommend this. If you've listened to this review, you've heard all you need to hear. I'm sorry to say that. I wish I could say more. All right, so what did you think of Long Live Pro Wrestling? What should I read next? Tomorrow's Wednesday, which means a whole new crop of comics in our local stores, including Long Live Pro Wrestling and thousands of more here at Paper Street Trading Company. So let me know what you think I should read tomorrow. Comment, questions, share, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a great day.